Hola, hola, buenos días. Good morning, everyone. And happy Father's Day for those kind of celebrating today. And thank you for being here. Perfect. So this work that I did during my master's with Taro Watanabe in the Nara Institute of Science and Technology in Japan. If you want to follow along and get some bonus content, feel free to scan this code. I'll leave it up for a couple more seconds, and here we go. We're going to cover a little bit of the basics of reframing, why I chose to spend a couple of years of my life in this, some of the work that has been done before, what we did, and what lies ahead. So reframing roughly is an act of speech that makes a specific aspect of a topic a little bit more salient. It changes your point of view without altering the main content. So that means you have to be careful to avoid contradictions. And it can also elaborate on the original content. A very stereotypical example of this is this glass being half full or half empty. Now, I have interests in ethics and NLP, bias propaganda, mental health and well-being, as a former psychology major as well. And when you start thinking about it, it is kind of everywhere in business, in law, in humor, and of course in science. Now, some of the previous work on this field, and I will fly through these, but if you read page 3 of this particular study from Simpson, Lee, and their colleagues, it will make your life better, even without NLP implications. This study a couple of years ago and a couple of studies in the last year basically come down to using original sentences that they use crowdsourced workers to reframe, and they always go in a negative to positive direction. So I saw the opportunity to get a data set that contained both original and reframed utterances that went in all sorts of directions and that happen in more natural environments. So we look at Reddit, specifically the subreddit ChangeMyView, because the name, I think, lends itself very well to this sort of task. And as you can see, there's many examples of original and reframed text, and they go, again, in different directions, which allows to have more coverage and potentially control. I will thank you, Abby, for covering a little bit of Reddit. So I will skip and assume that we're on the same page about what Reddit is. But the subreddit ChangeMyView does have a particular way in which people recognize each other's contributions. They award deltas. If you change my view, I give you a delta. A quick example of what this looks like is a person makes a comment. Someone else says, oh, you know what? You changed my view. I give you a delta. Of course, that makes it a view-changing comment. But what actually happens to formalize this, a little bot that monitors the subreddit does this awarding of a delta. And that made it a little bit easier to collect our data. We did have to put a lot of restraints on the data. There's a lot of it. So we looked at the original post, author awarding the delta to a direct reply to their original post. And I will skip this comment. You can look at it on the slides. We started with about 250,000 posts, over 11 million comments. We cleaned it up, and then a big step that helped us constrain the data was looking at only the comments that were awarded deltas, ignoring upvotes and other community recognition measures. And then we came up with about 32,000 pairs of original post and delta awarded comments. We fine-tuned a couple of LLMs. Due to memory limitations, we did this in increases of 2,000 pairs. With it following the original experiment from 2 years ago before our ChatGPT days, BART T5 and the evaluation measures that we also covered a little bit earlier, Rouge, Blue, and some semantic similarity measures like BERT score. Our scores are not great. You can see that in the bottom, our scores. But when looking at the data, we realized maybe there's a little too much text in the posts. There is a minimum requirement for posts in that subreddit of characters. So that we believe that introduced a lot of noise. When we had a shorter shorter posts, that tended to make the scores better. And of course, not so modern LLMs have limited capabilities. And evaluation is a bit of a mess in reframing. So just to wrap up, we did some GPT-4 extraction of the relevant bits of the post and the comment. And with about 3,000 of these kind of reduced pairs, we were able to improve the scores with, which is a promising direction. And there's a lot of potential here, both, I think, in terms of mental health and ethics, and also for business things, because I think this is also a marketable thing. I do want to highlight this being the workshop that it is, that we are working on expanding this work to Spanish and just getting a better sense of evaluating this work. Thanks so much.
Questions?
Hi, thank you. I was a bit confused about the actual task you were evaluating. So what was the metric that you used to evaluate if it was successful or not? Or you was just classifying?
Yeah, sorry about that. So when we have these pairs,
Yeah.
you start with, let me go back to one of the examples of the original post on a reframe. So here this person says, well, brown eyes are boring. And then someone else kind of reframes that same topic to say, you know what, the quality of someone's eyes is determined by much more than their color. You can see here that this is our pair, original post and the view changing comment. And what we evaluate is rouge and blue, kind of overlap-based metrics. And that's also why our scores are not that great, because in Reddit, they don't necessarily try to imitate each other's sentences. Bird score does a little bit better. So we're really just comparing original post and the reframe.
Okay, great.
Thank you. That's a great clarification.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I'm just being a little slow, but I myself have not yet understood what exactly you're measuring. Like how many, because you're using blue, so
yeah,
you're dealing with n-gram. So are you measuring? Sorry, what exactly are you measuring?
Absolutely. And you know what? I realized halfway through the talk that I didn't position this in the larger context of NLP. So I will pull up this slide. This is a textile transfer task. So reframing has an overlap with a bunch of different textile transfer other subtasks in NLP. So we're just measuring kind of from your original post with blue and rouge, how similar the reframe is going to be, which in some contexts may be helpful, say with machine translation, which blue comes from, and things like that. With reframing, because it's textile transfer, we keep using some of the same metrics, but I also think that's why we really have to improve the evaluation for this, because it's the evaluation makes it a little bit, it's not as intuitive that it makes sense for reframing.
Right. But so bare bones, you're measuring the overlap of n-grams between the original post and the post that asserts their mind has been changed.
The post that actually convinces and presents a different perspective.
Oh, so you're measuring the overlap between two different users, the one whose mind wants to be changed and the one who changes the mind.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
No, appreciate it.